Alright everybody, now I should be on. Welcome back to Comic Book Theater. I really have to get better at saying Comic Book Theater over Comic Frontline because I'm so used to saying Comic Frontline because that's where I've been for the last couple of years, been doing videos over there. But welcome to the show. I'm just going to be doing a fast review slash discussion of the second episode of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, which is titled Evox Revenge. And what I'm going to do for anybody who didn't see last week, I'm going to give you some screen captures of what happened. I'm going to, tell you about what happened, and then I'm going to give some, hopefully colorful commentary and some useful knowledge and stuff like that over it. While I'm going to also be doing some, I'm going to give you my final thoughts, and I'm going to give my overall rating on the system of 1 to 5 power bolts. So that's why I do my system on. I do power bolt system, and I did not get my power bolt system graphic up, so I will have to do that when I'm ready. But yeah, so let's get back to it. And let's see. So we got our first. We start off with the Rangers. We get this nice little quick previously on Power Rangers type thing where we haven't got one of those in a while. It's always been like the story of Power Rangers season, long ago the greatest ninja warrior ever existed, and we don't have that anymore. It's not the standard one. This was just like a brief, this is what happened last episode, and we got very brief, and then we got into it where we see Blaze and Roxy are in this cyber universe, and it looks like it's sort of made up of all this stuff from our planet, like maybe anything that's crossed over, like how they crossed over, maybe something like that. That's how this stuff is here, because it looks like remnants of our universe, like brick walls and stuff like that. And we also meet a general whose name is Skazel or Skozel. I don't Skrazel. I'm sorry, Skrazel. And he is the leader of this domain. He discovered this domain or whatever, this dimension, and he uses it to hide from this guy, this robot named Vargoyle, who is really intimidating, I guess. Like, he's supposed to be a really, tough guy. So it's interesting to see that he's hiding from him. And I was thinking maybe Vargoyle will be the big boss for season 2, because what Power Rangers likes to do is season 1 they'll have one big boss, and then that boss will be destroyed by the end of season 1, and Rangers are like, yay, we did it, everything's good and everything's great again. And then in season 2 we get the second boss, and he's like, I'm better, I'm bigger and better than the last one. Uh-oh, we had to have the superpowers, So that's how it kind of escalates. So I'm wondering if they'll do that, and if Vargoyle will be that second boss. So we might see more of Vargoyle later on. That's my own theory, though. And then Evox shows up. He's like, ha 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 ha. Nah, you don't think that you're going to take over this domain. This is mine. I'm the leader. Bow to me. And, he tells them that I can get us out of here, but I need I need power to transport us, and I need a lot of power to transport you, Evox. So Roxy's like, how about this? Some Morph X that was transported in there when they transported in there by accident. It was like a part of that big explosion. Remember, we had that big chunk of space that was missing? So there was some stuff that was transported with them. I honestly have to say, I like these black suits way better than I do the white suits that they had on as Rangers. Like, their evil Ranger suits look way better than their good Ranger suits. That white and blue, white and yellow, white and red, it looked kind of cheesy, where this looks kind of cool. It's just a simple changing of the black and the white, but it's super effective for me. And then we have, Blaze, who, when Blaze tells Evox he'll do what he says, like, something there tells me that Blaze has something going on. Maybe he's going to be like that, I'm going to overthrow Evox type thing. He might be trying to work against Evox while trying to beat the Rangers at the same time. Then we get to meet the Buddy Roids, the see, I'm so used to seeing using Go Busters because we had that for so long. The beast spots, we're getting the beast spots, and we got Jax the rabbit, we got Smash the gorilla, and we have Cruz the motorcycle. So, and Cheetah. Uh, I just like to call him because he's never really in a cheetah form. He's in the motorcycle form, so I call him the motorcycle. Um, and the Rangers are like, yeah, this is so cool. We got to see Jax, who really sounds like the tough guy, which is like I like the juxtaposition of like him being the small guy who's like should be all cutesy, and he's like, I don't do cute. So I like that. It's like that. It's sort of a trope, the small guy is not the cutesy guy, he's not the lovable guy, he's the strong, tough, burly guy. So I like that. And then we have another trope of with Smash, who is the big, give me a hug, Ravi. And Ravi's like, nah, dude, I don't do hugs, which made him sad because he loves hugs. And then we get, I keep wanting to call him Cheetah Nick, but Cruz, who couldn't remember his own name, which is funny because I just had a little blank out. And he's forgetful, that's his like little quirk. So we got the little one who's all gruff. We got the big one who's all cuddly, and then we got the Cruz who is forgetful. So those are the three personality types that we have. And we also got their voice actors. We got Kelson Henderson does the voice of Cruz. You might know him from Mick last season, Dino Charge, and he's done. I mean, Ninja Steel, and he's done other characters, including Boom and all that throughout Power Rangers. He's been on a lot of seasons, people. And then we got Charlie McDermott as Smash. Now, this is not the Charlie McDermott from in the middle. That's not that actor. This is the guy who's done other voice acting on Power Ranger stuff. So he's like just done voice acting, but his name is Charlie McDermott too. So when you're looking him up, it will be on like an Internet Movie Database. If you're going on IMDb, it's Charlie McDermott 2. It's not Charlie McDermott. Then we have Emmett Skilton as Jax. We have Campbell Cooley back as Scrozzle. And the Cyclotron was voiced by Barry Duffield. So that's what we know. We also know that the little robots that they're going to send out, the first monsters that we get are going to be called Robotrons. And then when they get bigger, they're going to be called Gigadrones. So those are the names of them. That's the verbiage that we're the language we're going to be using this year. So just a little heads up for that, because I like to call them monsters or anything, but they're not. They have official names this year. So, and then I love the transformation that Cruz did. This was really cool. Very Transformers like this is what they should do for Transformers movies, because he looks cool as a robot and he looks cool as a motorcycle. And I think like Transformers, the movies don't get that right. They don't really look like Transformers as the robots. They look just like the vehicles, and they shouldn't. I know it's weird, but they should just look like the robots. They should look classic. But I do like this transformation. You can definitely tell Hasbro's involved in that. And, of course, Devin loves it. He's like, this is so cool. And then we get to see the Zords for the first time. I love that the copter has a full cockpit without having Jax in it. Like, even without Jax, it still functions. It still looks like it. Because in Go Busters, it was like just an open gash there until the Buddy Roy came and joined it. So, and the B-Spots will be serving as functional as their controls. And, we had to pick out a leader, and Ravi and Zoe both want to be the leader, and, Devin's just like, dude, that's a cool blaster, he's just focused on this stuff. And then we go back to the cyber dimension where Scrozzle has programmed the keys that he's found from the debris field, from their world, from Great Battle Force, and he takes them and he powers them up with some Morphex, and it's enough to get them teleported. So it does look like even Roxy will have a Morpher, so she's technically going to be an Evil Ranger. She's going to be probably more like a Camille from Power Rangers Jungle Fury, where she doesn't look like a Ranger, classical Ranger, where, you know, Blaze does look like that classical Ranger. He has the visor, he has the helmet, and everything that looks like it. She's just going to look like a an alien or a monster of the week, you know, type thing, or general. But yeah, it's interesting. And this week we're only going to really see Blaze going out, so it's probably going to be like that. They're going to be taking turns or whatever. So Blaze puts in his morpher, his key into his morpher, which would teleport him out. And then when he gets there, he has to transform, and he morphs into the, you know, evil cyber villain Blaze, which I thought was really cool. You know, and he is Blaze. This is Blaze. He has all the memories of the guy Blaze, the normal guy Blaze. So he's not like, oh, I don't know who you guys are. I'm just an evil villain who looks like your friend. No, this is their friend. Because he makes a comment to Devin later on. So here's the Tronics he brings in, and I love the Tronics fights. I thought like the civilian fight was so cool. Devin fighting against Blaze, who says, you know, you want a karate lesson? How about another karate lesson? And Devin's like, sure, I'll teach you some moves. That was a nice thing. Ravi and Zoe are arguing over who's going to be the leader, while Devin's taking care of business, and it's like, yo, dude, stop fighting with each other. You know, let's fight them. And they call for it's morphin time, and we get the nice little risk communicator that all the Grid Battle Force people have these communicators, but only the Rangers can transform them into their morphers, and they do their whole little key thing, their morphin sequence, you know, and it's really cool. I like this morph. I like that, you know, we get the teleporting, we get the tornadoes. We also get another one. I didn't grab that picture though of him jumping up on the bike as he's morphing. So that's really cool. Devin does that. That's something that we haven't seen in Power Rangers in a while, like those type of things, which I like. I like those quick morphs too. But I wonder, like, I don't know, part of me is missing the be transported to this other realm where you can transform into this grid, you know, like almost like you're being transported into the morphing grid where you're changing and then you come back out. This is different, but it's cool. Like, I like both versions, so part of me is still missing the morphing grid morph, and this is, you know, pretty cool though too. So Blaze and Scrozzle disappear because they got some Morphex, and they're like, we got to get out. But Scrozzle uses his a morph key, his morphing key, to power up objects and make it into monsters, you know, into the Robotrons. So that's how we get the Robotrons. They're created by a morph key, which is pretty cool because I think that's something that you know, we have. It's adapting what Enter used to do, where he would just like hook up wires. I think this is better because it's like injecting Morph X and a program into it. So it's like creating a virus that makes these objects come to life. We get the first transporter of the weapons. I really like how they set this up. It looks really cool. Using the Go Buster stuff. I like that they had to say transport and then call out the power, the equipment, but they do deviate from that because later on Devin calls for another, you know, his B-Sex blaster, but he doesn't call B-Sex blaster. He just says transport, and it transports it automatically, which, you know, he should have to call out transport Beast X blaster. You know, he should have to call that out. And then Devin uses his powers to take him out. I really love the special effect that they use on him with the digital echoes. That's a really cool thing. Zoe's power is super cool visually because she can jump all over the place. Like, I know on our Medium Manus, Cat was like, oh, that's a, you know, pretty dumb power. Visually though, it's really cool to see her jumping all around, jumping off buildings, you know, hitting people and all that. So visually, it's a really great. Like, for stunt work and all that, is visually awesome to see that. And then here it goes with the Morpher, with the B-Sex Blaster. And, he doesn't call it out, but I love this scene where he just, like, jumps and it comes out as he is, like, jumping. So that's, like, a really cool thing that they did. I thought that was really a nice touch there. And then we get, again, this is from Go Busters, where the vaccination left them with a weakness. Each of the Rangers had a weakness. Each of the Go Busters had a weakness. And here it's going to be the same way. In Go Busters, Red had a weakness to chickens. He would freeze when he saw chickens. Blue would overheat and become sort of villain-like, cocky, arrogant, and a jerk, and abusive. And then you'll have Yellow, who would run out of sugar, and she would, faint, and she would become weak. She would be too weak to move. So here they kept that, essentially, but they did change Red's, Devon's, to a dog, which is more common in America. You're not going to see wild chickens running around, in, because this is supposed to be like Southern California. So, like, you're not going to see any chickens running around Southern California all the time, or billboards and stuff like that. So it makes sense to do it as a dog. And plus, it does get explained later on why, which I'll get to. But yeah, see, he freezes, and good thing we have Betty and Ben there, because Ravi and Zoe are too busy arguing over who's going to be the leader and who's doing the better job of helping each other. Where Ben just steps in and shocks him, but he also gets shocked himself. And once the dog goes out of his line of sight, Devon's okay. Now Ravi's turn to witness his weakness, which is he starts to overheat, and Zoe, he starts to attack Zoe. Then Zoe gets her weakness, which is she can't move. She's too weak. She has no energy. So while they're recuperating, Devon is all ready. So he goes into the cruiser, and he goes out and to fight this Gigadrone that was launched. And he's got to do it all on his own because those two are still hung up. But I still love the way that they're using this, the footage from Japan, Go Busters, because the Zords are more dynamic in Go Busters than any other series before or since, honestly. They have never done, like, this level of computer work with them. It's always been, the guy in the suit. But at least they do something different with this, and I like that. And, of course, Devon sees a dog food commercial billboard, so he freezes up again. And this lets Nate realize that, okay, Devon's a cheetah. Cheetahs are from the cat family. Levi Ackerman's here. It says, where to watch the episode online, any website for it. Only one I can tell you is the legal way, which will be later on tonight or early tomorrow, and that will be on the Nick app. I don't know of any other way to watch it. Nick.com doesn't show it anymore, sadly. They only want people to go on their apps, which I think they should put it on their site too. But so we have him here, and he's Nate's like, wait, Nick's the cheetah. Devon got his powers from a cheetah. A cheetah is a cat. Cats are afraid of dogs. That makes sense. You get your power from a rabbit. You used a lot of energy. You need to replenish it with a carrot. Here, eat this. And Zoe starts to feel better. She starts to, like, yum, yum, yum. Oh my God, I got so much energy. Then he tells Ravi, you overexerted yourself. You went into gorilla mode. You went, wild and unleashed the beast and all this. And he was like, you just need to stay cool and calm and you'll be okay. So, they go out and they head to the Zords. We see Zoe and Ravi go into their Zords, and they go out to help. I love the little head in there and them saying, like, smash, activate, or whatever. I love that. I think that was really a nice little touch. Ravi does apologize to Zoe for going bananas on her. Nice little pun. I know, Power Rangers isn't supposed to have puns anymore. They need to be more mature and all that, but I liked it. I thought it was really cool. And Zoe uses her Jackrabbit mode to kick the Gigatron over towards Devon, and knocks him off out eyesight of the dog. So now Devin's unfroze, and he calls on the Cheetah Blaster, and he goes into the Cheetah. Wait, what's it called? I think it's called like Cheetah Final Strike or something like that. Cheetah Strike, and I like this. I don't know. Some people are giving it a hard time about this little extra piece that comes on him in the cockpit. I like it. I think it's cool. It adds a little bit of originality. We're not just getting, oh, this is a Goldbuster cockpit. You see, no, this is 100% American made. So I like that. I like that they're adding stuff into it. And of course, they beat him, and they go back to the headquarters, and Ravi and the commander's been watching all this. Commander Shaw has been watching all this, but when they're getting ready to decide when she's getting ready to decide who's going to be the leader, Ravi and Zoe both step up and like, you know what? We don't want to be considered. Devin should be the leader. He's the only one who was out there and said, you know, this isn't cool. You guys should be working together and, you know, teamwork and everything like that. So Devin is named the leader of the group, which I liked. Again, I like that it wasn't just Ravi who was like, I'm in charge and I should be it. You know, I'm the only original one. Which he did say, but then you had Zoe who also wanted it. So I like that it wasn't just Ravi being a jerk about I'm the real Ranger, you're not. It was just them competing against each other. I like that Devin was more about let's just do what we got to do than he was about trying to lead, which I liked. Again, I also think Blaze is going to have something to do. So Blaze, I don't know, something is sneaky about that guy. I think he's going to be trying to get something in on Evox. Like he's going to try to destroy Evox or something like that. And I just think there's going to be something else going on with Blaze and Evox. I think Roxy is definitely going to use her emotional connection to Ravi to manipulate him a little bit. So that will be done. And as for what else is going to happen, I think we haven't heard the last of Vargoyle. I think Vargoyle is going to be the main villain for Season 2. That's just my prediction on it because I just think Season 2 is going to need a different monster. We're going to get, you know, Evox is going to come out sometime in the middle of the season, and then we're going to get Evox is going to be destroyed by the season finale, and then Season 2 is going to be like, but wait, there's another one, you know, and he's bigger and better than anyone else, and that's going to be him. So that's why I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Vargoyle. Now, this one was a little bit lower than the last episode. The last episode I thought was really well done. This one, because we did have to have some of the cheesy little moments, but I do think it was still a really strong episode. And it's a little bit lower than the previous episode. So I'm going to give it 4.25 power bolts out of 5. So let me just shrink this down a little bit. So this way it's not, you know, I don't want it to be that big. So let me just shrink this down a little bit and make it more fitting. So yeah, this is going to get 4.75, 4.25 power bolts. So again, not saying I don't like it. It's just a little bit less than what the last episode was. I think the last episode did it a little bit better. That's all, in my opinion. But I also really liked how they're handling Ben and Betty. They're not just like oh, we're going to make fart jokes every episode. We're going to be bumbling boofs. No, they do have a good heart. They are helping the Rangers. We're told that they're like sort of like floaters. They go wherever they're needed, and I like that. They're not just like those guys who are like, oh, we got to enter the Monty and Victor story so we can make that fart joke because everybody loves fart jokes, even though nobody does. I just really like the way that they're doing it. I love the fact that we have these two semi-competent, good-hearted people. They're not out to get fame and fortune. Although Betty's a little bit, but Ben and their heart's in the right place, and that's what I like about them. They're not the typical ones that we've been getting in the Neo Saban era. So that's why I keep comparing them to Victor Monty, because I think they're the worst. Like, they symbolize the worst of the Neil Saban era, where it was just like fart jokes and everything. I just think they stick out more to me as a bad example of what it is. So again, that's my review for this. I hope everybody had a good time watching it. If you get to watch the episode, leave some comments, post live too, because I like to hear what other people think. What are your thoughts on my theories of, Vargoyle being the season 2 baddie, and um, is Blaze going to be using some kind of... Is Blaze going to try to double cross Evox a little bit, So let me know what your thoughts on those are. And until the next review, I'll be back here next week with another review, by the way. And it'll be sort of probably the same format. So until then, as always, may the power protect you.